Welcome to your October 2024 update. Oh, we've got some rock and roll energy starting the month with the solar eclipse. We've got some shifts. We're going to have a big retrograde this month with Jupiter, and I'm going to share with you what that's all about. This video is to give you the significant shifts this month so that you know how to work with the energy. We will have a very powerful full moon. Pluto's coming out of retrograde, and Mars is going to start to come into a place where it's going to be for quite a while. So we want to know how to manage that energy. And what do we do after this eclipse? So all of this and so much more. Hi, I'm Prema and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're here. And I am going to share all the energy and how to navigate that energy. And if you don't already have your Vedic Astrology Ascendant and Moon, get the free chart calculator link, which is in the description or in the comments below. And be sure to check out the solar eclipse update as well, because we've got a rock and roll eclipse starting the month. And the Sacred Wealth Code quiz is also down below. So I appreciate your subscribing and sharing. Thank you so much. The solar eclipse starts the month on the 2nd of October in Virgo in Vedic Astrology. That's our great merchant and our great communicator ruling Virgo, with the mystic and the moon and the sun making this eclipse. And I've cut a whole video about that, so I want you to watch that video for all the details. But this is a significant restart, a significant new beginning, a significant change or disruptor for some patterns that have just needed to move and to go. So check that video out. Venus, as we start the month, is in Libra. It'll be in Libra until the 12th of the month. That is our great connector. That is also our great artist. And with Venus in this placement, relationships, once they get past this eclipse, this is a very harmonious time for relationships. So the conversations you want to have, the shifts that you want to make, get in and connect with people, have those conversations. Not during the eclipse days. I would just avoid October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd as far as any really important communications, because Mercury is going to be tied up with this eclipse. But other than that, really enjoy this networking. And, Venus also rules wealth and luxury and our connectivity. And in fact, this is one of the reasons that I am doing my Sacred Wealth Code Journey live 11-day program during this time. It'll be on October 7th, where I'll start this, and we'll culminate on the full moon. And this is really an activation for you to claim your superpowers, align with your dreams, your soul purpose, shatter limiting beliefs, and really activate that unshakable confidence to create wealth in abundance in the way you're encoded for that. It's really a walkthrough and an amplification of my book, Your Sacred Wealth Code, and it's only $22. So I invite you to join me. Link is down below or in the comments. If you're not already part of the party, please come and join us. And it's okay to come in late because you'll be able to get all the replays. October 9th, Jupiter goes retrograde through February 5th. Now, this is a long retrograde. It's 4 months. Retrograde has a purpose. So this is our teacher. This is our sage. Jupiter works with knowledge and with wisdom. And Taurus is a place in the chart where it will be until May of 2025 before it moves on to Gemini, because it stays in one place for a year. Now, wherever Jupiter is, it is got the trine aspect. So, for instance, if Taurus happens to be a wealth house for you, then it's aspecting all your wealth houses. If it's a purpose house, it's aspecting all your purpose houses. So it brings this grace in. And of course, these are things we can look at in a reading, but it brings in this grace. Now, when it goes retrograde, like any planet, we have this opportunity to take a look at things and reevaluate some of the path that we've walked, some of the choices we've made, some of the things that have been coming into our awareness. So this is the natural second house of the zodiac, where it is about our values, our our food. It's around finances and agriculture. These are just some of the things that Taurus represents. And there needs to be a shift in a lot of these. And Jupiter has been highlighting this. This has been coming up for us collectively, maybe for yourself personally with your own finances and how you're eating and your sustainability. Security is a big one with this placement in Taurus. So Jupiter's highlighting this. And during the retrograde, it'll help us to come up with some solutions, some other ways of doing things. And when it moves forward again, we'll be able to take action on those choices, and we'll be able to sort of manage a different way of doing things, a different way of being from a place of wisdom. And again, collectively, this is around finances and sustainability and food and our values. Personally, depending on what's that house in your chart, if it's your 9th house, that's divine purpose, that's teachers, that's gurus, that's long distance travel. If it's your 2nd house, it's a place of wealth and money and values and the place of things that I've been talking about. If it's your 7th house, it's intimate relationships and business relationships. So that's another layer to it. But we're going to have this long time of reevaluating things. So Jupiter is very strong in the going retrograde and coming out of retrograde because it stands still. So about the 4 or 5 days before the 9th and after, and then once we get to February, and that's in the future, and I'll talk to you about that then, again, the 5 days before and after February 5th, that's when Jupiter, our great teacher, our great sage, gets really strong during that time. So that's when we might see some movement in things or just some deep insights coming in. So allow that reevaluation to come up, allow new choices to be made, and some of them will not be able to be made until it goes direct, and allow yourself to be in the reevaluation process. So Mercury is currently exalted in Virgo. Mercury is our great merchant, our great communicator, and Mercury is very strong in this placement. It's the only planet to be exalted in its own sign. Virgo is all about the details of life, the details of our vision, purity, healing. It is a place where it is the natural 6th house of the zodiac, which happens to be health, work-life balance, and the daily routines of life. So, and this is a very powerful placement. So once we get past that eclipse, Mercury, you'll be able to access even a little bit more of this, although Mercury will be quite active with us during the eclipse. So it's moving from, it really wants to help us to purify not only our thoughts, our communication, the way we're doing things, our routines, but you'll be able to put some of the details in place with Mercury in this placement. It will move to Libra right after that on October 10th. Now, the beautiful thing about that is Mercury is a friend of Venus's, so it's very happy in Libra, and in that place it's going to be really good for our communications, being connected and being social, and especially about business affairs, get in and network and create and collaborate with people. It's an excellent transit. It's not going to get any malefic aspects. You'll be in the mood to socialize and want to share ideas about things, and I encourage you to do that. So it's an excellent transit for business. And once we get it past the eclipse as well, with it in Virgo as well. So take action on your business, move forward on things, those projects, things that you've been wanting to do or waiting to do, or, it is time. Let's get it going. Beautiful time if you are an entrepreneur, or just projects on your own, even if you're not an entrepreneur. It'll help bring in some mental harmony, and communication will be more harmonious as well. So take advantage of that time. It'll be there until the 29th. And then it'll go into Scorpio with a very different energy. So take care of that window of time between the 10th and the 29th with Mercury's aspect there. Now, October 12th, Venus moves from its sign in Libra. And again, that's our great connector. There's my connector. That's our great connector there and our great artist. It's going to move into Scorpio, and it'll be in Scorpio for the rest of the month. Now, Scorpio is a really activated sign because Jupiter's aspecting it, Saturn's aspecting it, but it's going to get more activated as we move into the second half of October and then into November as well, because we're having more planets come and transit Scorpio. So they're going to bring energy there. Where's Scorpio in your chart? Is it your 7th house of intimate relationship? That's what's going to get activated. Is it your 1st house? Well, if you're a Scorpio ascendant, that's you. If it's your 3rd house, that's your brothers and sisters and friends and communication. So what is that for you in your chart in the chart calculator? If you don't already have your chart, if you're in my program, you've got your chart, you know what where these things are, and you can ask me personal questions. But if you don't, then get the free chart calculator. Scorpio is going to be activated, and this is where relationships are going to be maybe not as harmonious. Okay, be aware of your values. Scorpio is going to highlight that shadow work that we may need to do around making the changes that we need to make in order to absolutely, be able to connect in. But some relationship issues, may come to the surface. One of the things that can happen is you can find yourself or someone else being maybe controlling or a little obsessive in relationship. So, and miscommunication can happen here as well, especially when Mercury moves into this placement, but that won't be till the end of the month. So what Scorpio is really about, it is a private place. And yes, it can be a secretive place too, but privacy and secrecy are a little bit different. Secret is keeping something away from someone else that maybe they should know. Private is it's private. It's your own business. Okay. So know the difference there. In Scorpio, we have a focus on spirituality, on mysticism, on the unknown. And underneath all that is devotion. What are you devoted to? Are you devoted to your spiritual practice? Are you devoted to connection? Are you devoted to your work in the world? Well, these might be all things that we're devoted to in different ways, but depending on where Scorpio is in your chart, and then that's going to help also dictate the area that you are devoted to. It's the natural 8th house of the zodiac, which is all about transformation and mysticism and spirituality and the unknown, the great unknown. So these are the practices and even astrology that we can really dive into when we've got that Scorpio energy. But again, if you're stuck in emotional energy, drama, that's the shadow side more of Scorpio, where we just kind of want to mix things up because we want to feel like something's going on. That's the energy. We don't want to use that energy so much. So just, again, you want to be grounded. Of course, you've got things to come up to release and heal. Do your work and do that. And spend time with understanding your devotion. What are you really devoted to? And especially in the area of life that it rules for you. So as far as the 8th house in general, for all of us, what are you devoted to when it comes to transformation? For me, I'm devoted to continuing to transform anything that's not in alignment, anything that is not where I'm being of greater service and I'm not manifesting, and working on my heart's desires. Those are the things and the blocks that get in the way. Those need to be transformed. And that's one of the reasons I do a lot of the work that I do. And I help others to do that as well. Okay, Pluto is also going to go direct. And when Pluto goes direct, it's going to allow the inner transformation that's been happening for us to start to manifest that more in the world. And because it's in Capricorn, we're going to see this on a collective level, governments, organizations, these places that some of the places that we're really going to see where Pluto will start to activate more in the physical world. It's been working on the inner transformation. And that date for Pluto going direct is on the 11th. October 16th, the sun moves into Libra and we start Libra season as far as the sun is concerned. Now Libra is ruled by Venus and Venus is now in Scorpio. So it's having a different feel to it than it did when it was in Libra, as we just talked about. The sun in Libra, which is our great King, which is our great leader's here somewhere, but it's debilitated technically in this placement. So what does that mean? It's not good for what it's normally good for, really, our own personal purpose or mission, our leadership, our individuality. It's more so where we take a step back a little bit, because Libra is about bringing the balance, and it's where we can potentially, and especially if you have the sun in your chart natally in Libra, where we can let the light shine on somebody else and we can be a little bit more behind the scenes. But you can also feel a little bit of a lack in confidence if you're a solar type or you're running that particular cycle, confidence, or just feeling a little too behind the scenes. And you want to find your gifts and where you can be stepping out and in front of the scenes. What it is good for is, again, that balance, relationships, connectivity in that way. October 17th, we will have a full moon. It will be in Aries. It's not even at a degree of Aries and Ashwini. I will be doing a full moon healing circle. Of course, this is the queen when we have the full moon. It's also the great nurturer is the other archetype with the moon, and this will be a very transformational restart after the solar eclipse, and because Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So this is a place where we're going to want to release and to heal and to open up to that new chapter, kind of at the next level once we've gone past this eclipse. I'll do a whole update on this, and we'll do a healing circle, and it'll be wonderful. But I'll save that for then. October 20th, Mars is moving into Cancer. Now, Mars is technically debilitated here. And so this makes 2 debilitated planets this month. And Mars, but let me just say this. Everything is good for something, even debilitation. Okay? So Mars is our honorable warrior. And when it's in Cancer, it's in the sign of home and family. The warrior in home and family, this is when sometimes there can be problems with Mars in this placement. But if the honorable warrior takes the stance of, the sort of the taking a stand for the family and protection of the family, the honorable warrior can do fine here. It's really a time to take things a little bit slower, and especially with relationships and emotions. See, Mars doesn't really like emotional energy so much. Mars wants to get stuff done, preferably yesterday. So when it's too emotional, like in Cancer, Mars gets a little messed up there. So Mars has to stay very grounded. Okay. And as far as relationships go, we just want to really watch out for, sort of bickering and pettiness and that kind of thing. You're going to want to passive aggressive. There can be some of that too. But if you channel this energy, it can be really great. So how can you take that productivity, that wanting to get something done, and channel it around the home? Okay, well, so we need to be grounded, like I always say with Mars. You need to sweat. You need to exercise, yoga, martial arts, lift weights. You need to actually use your, burn off that extra energy and then channel some of that energy into home and family, whether that's, being with home and family or working on the land, fixing your home, taking care of projects that need to be taken care of. Mars is going to be here for almost 5 or 6 months. We'll be talking more about this because it's going to retrograde. So we want to start managing this energy. It'll be more significant for those of you who are running Mars's cycle, or you're a Scorpio or an Aries ascendant. It's going to be more significant for you. So we want to manage this energy, okay, so that you can use that productivity, you can use that drive. And as I like to say, and I teach in my empath training, you manage your emotions or they're going to manage you. So manage your emotions. Best way to manage your emotions is be harnessing them to manifest your heart's desire, working from the inside out with that. And and taming the beast, as far as our 3D is our physicality. Let's get grounded. Let's be, in the world and have our hands in the dirt and use our bodies so that we're taking care of the temple here. Mercury will move into Scorpio on October 30th, and it'll join Venus there. And again, this is that emphasis on that Scorpio energy. And this brings in another emphasis on money and relationships. And we can really see some big shifts here. Again, we've got that merchant and the communicator moving into that, that Scorpio energy. So, where is Scorpio in your chart? You can see some big shifts, again, with relationships here, with our finances, with our business even. Again, another place you need to manage your emotions. If there's a lot of drama getting kicked up, which can in Scorpio, that you just want to feel like something's happened, but we need to dive deeper and find out what we're devoted to. So what are you devoted to in communication? What are you devoted to as far as, your business goes, or, financial matters? We want to get underneath that and create some really good intentions. Scorpio has this energy like turning grape juice into wine. It tends to ferment things. So we want to get down to the purity of things, and then what do we want to, want to transform that to? So there can be some really great manifesting energy here, but it has to be harnessed and used in the right way. So the first half of the month is going to feel very different than the second half. We've got this rock and roll period of time. Then we've got, things are getting pretty harmonious, and we're going to feel some of these shifts in this movement. Second half, we're coming to this Scorpio energy where we're going to come in and deal with ourselves and each other and devotion, but let's do it in a really good way. And then November, as we move into November energy, it'll be a breath of fresh air. It'll be an easier energy. But hey, everything we go through is good for something, and it's a very transformative month. Very transformative. I, again, invite you to come to the Sacred Wealth Code Journey. This, again, it's only $22. We're going to work with our manifesting power, understand your wealth code, understand how you're wired up for wealth. What are your superpowers? When we really step into our superpowers and step out of our shadow, step out of that, that negative energy, we free up more of our superpowers, more of our gifts. And when you are using your gifts, you are on purpose, and your version of wealth can really follow that. So anyway, looking forward to you joining. There is a link in the description or in the comments, and I can't wait to be with you soon.